Hello and welcome to The Explainer. We talk a lot about the climate crisis, but today we're going to do something a little different. We're diving into a really powerful, optimistic blueprint for how we can build resilience right from the ground up. It's all about shifting our focus from pure profit to people and the planet.
So I want to start with this question because it really gets to the heart of everything we're going to talk about. What if the most powerful solutions aren't these massive top-down plans, but instead they're bottom-up transformations that actually empower our local communities? It sounds radical, but it's an incredibly practical idea.
Okay, let's just ground ourselves in a reality that, let's face it, we all know. This stuff isn't abstract theory anymore. We're all feeling it, right? The summers just keep getting hotter, the weather is all over the place, and the news is just a constant stream of droughts, fires, and melting glaciers. And since a problem in one part of the world messes with weather patterns everywhere else, this is a truly global challenge for all of us.
But here's the thing. While the challenge is shared, the burden, well, that's not shared equally at all. The real, gut-wrenching impacts of climate change, the floods, the famines, people having to leave their homes, those things hit the world's poor and marginalized communities the hardest. And that's the fundamental injustice we have to face.
This slide just visualizes that imbalance so powerfully. Just look at this. According to the Global Carbon Project, the U.S. emits as much CO2 in just 16 days as Pakistan does in an entire year. Let that sink in. Or look at Africa, home to 15% of all people on Earth, but responsible for less than 4% of emissions. This really shows you why the conversation about who should fix it is so incredibly complicated. And because of that inequality, you get this massive gridlock. You've got developed nations who historically cause most of the problem, arguing with developing nations who are saying, hey, we shouldn't have to sacrifice our growth to fix a crisis we didn't create. And while everyone's arguing, the planet isn't waiting. We need a new way of thinking, and we need it now. Right at the center of all these international debates is a principle called CBRD. It stands for Common but Differentiated Responsibilities. It's a core idea from the UN that basically says, look, we're all in this together and we all have to act. But we have to be honest about the fact that some countries played a much bigger role in getting us here. This idea is the bedrock for any fair and just solution.
So, how do we break this deadlock? Well, an answer might come from a socio-economic philosophy called Prout. That's P-R-O-U-T. And it suggests we have to change the entire goal of our economic system. For hundreds of years, the goal has just been to maximize profit. And that always leads to taking too much from the earth and destroying ecosystems. The Prout model flips that on its head. What if the goal wasn't profit, but maximizing human well-being, our physical, mental, and spiritual health, all while living within the planet's boundaries?
Okay, so this brings us to the blueprint itself. It's a great idea, but how do we turn it from a concept into a real, concrete plan for change? Let's break it down.
So the first pillar is all about decentralizing the economy. Just imagine this, a world where local people are in charge of their own local resources, where we produce things to meet local needs, not just to make a huge profit on the other side of the world. A world where local cooperatives are the real engines of the economy, creating jobs for everyone in the community. It's not about cutting ourselves off. It's about building strong, self-reliant foundations right where we live.
The second pillar is what's called economic democracy. First things first, this means everybody's basic needs are guaranteed, but it goes way beyond that. The goal is to always be increasing the real purchasing power of every single person. And here's the most important part. The power to make the big economic decisions has to be in the hands of local people, not outside corporations that just want to come in and extract profit.
And let's be super clear about something. When Prout talks about local people, it's not talking about race or ethnicity or religion. It's talking about anyone who has a real vested interest, a deep social and economic stake in the health and prosperity of that specific place. It's an inclusive idea based on a shared future, not a shared past.
All right, so what's the payoff? What does this regenerative future actually look like on the ground? Let's try to paint a picture of how these ideas create a much more resilient and fair world, one community at a time.
The number one goal in this system isn't something like GDP. It's the purchasing capacity of the people. And that's not just about how much money is in your paycheck. It's about what your money can actually buy, when prices are stable, when essentials are available locally, and when wages are fair. It's a real, tangible measure of how well people are actually doing.
And this creates this incredible positive feedback loop. Check it out.
Local cooperatives create meaningful green jobs, like installing solar panels or replanting forests. That increases people's income and savings. And because these co-ops are producing essentials right there, they guarantee a stable supply. All of this works together to create a powerful buffer, a safety net that helps communities ride out those unpredictable climate shocks.
This is such a huge point. I mean, we all saw just how fragile global supply chains were during the pandemic. So imagine a hurricane or a flood wipes out a major port. In a decentralized system, where your food and other basics are produced nearby, your community isn't cut off. You have a kind of built-in resilience that these massive centralized systems just can't offer. This table really just sums it all up, doesn't it? We're talking about a complete shift in every single part of our economy. The goal goes from profit to well-being. Resources go from being just another commodity to being controlled by locals. Production shifts from global markets to local consumption. And the result? We move from a system that's fragile and brittle to one that's robust, regenerative, and truly self-reliant.
And that really brings us to the core call to action here. It's time to decommodify and decarbonize. It's time to stop treating our beautiful planet and its people like resources we can just take from, and instead start building economies that actually regenerate our communities and our ecosystems.
So we end right where we started, with a question. The climate crisis is, no doubt, the greatest challenge humanity has ever faced. But what if, hidden inside that challenge is the greatest opportunity we've ever had? An opportunity to rebuild our world in a way that is more just, more equitable, and truly sustainable for everyone, for generations to come. Thanks for watching The Explainer.